Hello guys and gals, it is the 28th of January, Thursday, the year 2010, and I want to start this video off with talking about a theoretical experiment. Please don't do this stuff at home. What you do is you take a burner, a hot burner, and you take your hand and you put it directly on top of the burner. Who's going to do these sort of things? And I think the answers would rely on three different kinds of people, the majority on the third list. The first list would be, you know, those people that we call crazy as far as doing a lot of wild stuff. I mean, this is what crazy really happens to be, but I know there's people out there that would do that kind of stuff. Second kind of people that might do it, maybe if you were hypnotized. When you're hypnotized, you can do all sorts of things. And I think at the same point, you could also do these things and not be able to feel the pain or the reaction that normally comes from it. And I say that because I've seen so many people who have walked on glass while under a hypnotic state, and then you look at their feet, man, you only get a couple of scratches and no blood, and they don't even have any pain. So what would happen if you were under a hypnotic state and you put your hand on that burner? Would the scars be like hard to see? Would the pain not be there? I don't know, and I'm not even going to try it either. But I think the third case for it going to be happen, and the more common one, is that of a pure accidental state. It's probably going to hurt like hell, and you might even have to go to the hospital after that happens. But after everything's all said and done, I think what will definitely happen is that individual is going to make many conscious efforts to make sure that does not happen again. And I mean, how could you blame them for not? What I find very interesting is we have the State of the Union address that was last night. Many people were watching this. They were hearing the president being so happy, so energetic, and so confident along the way. And so many people were like, yay, go Obama, 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 Obama brings change, Obama, Obama. Oh man, you get a lot of those people. And then what I gotta say is, how many times do these people have to say the same things over and over again and have the same results come back to us, which are usually not good, before we do something about it? Just like the hand on the stove. Are you going to keep putting your hand on the stove over and over again? Every year you do it, just like every year you watch the presidential address? I mean, come on, think about it. But you know what? I did think about it. And what I came to my conclusion is that it was the second example, that of being hypnotized. We as people have been hypnotized to believe, or to believe the things that they want us to believe. Who are they? Powers that be. And if you think I'm crazy, or you just have no idea what I'm talking about with powers that be, I'm going to address that in just a little while. So they got us hypnotized to believe what we want to believe. And I think at the same point, it makes it so it's not painful to watch it, because when you wake up to reality and you see some stuff like this, it may in fact become painful, where if you are hypnotized, it won't be as such. I find that very, very, very interesting. And there's an example in poker, and the example is, if you are sitting at a table and you are not able to find any of the suckers within the first half hour or hour, then I got news for you. You are the sucker. And I think the same could be true if you put a bunch of different people together in a living room to watch something like the State of the Union. If you cannot find the sheep within 5, 10, 20 minutes, I got news for you. You are the sheep. And like I said earlier, if I were to say words like powers that be, Illuminati, and you are either thinking I'm crazy or you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I think it's safe for me to say that you are in fact that of a sheep. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a sheep, because the vast majority of us were and maybe still are in that level. I remember when Bill Clinton came as president in the mid-1990s, I was thinking, yay, we're going to have change, things are going to be good. Yeah. What can I say about that? Now, if you're at the point where you are starting to think, you know what, it does make sense that there might be these people behind the scenes that are doing this, and I think that they might be lying to us here and there, or anything of that nature, then I think what the direct result from that is you are in the process of going from sheep to awake. I think that's the key term, is awake. Anyway, in the speech yesterday, one of the earlier things that the president referred to was that I inherited a presidential problem. What can I say? It was the Bush administration that did that. And that's not the first time I've heard a president state that it was a previous administration that did that. So if that's the case, then apparently I guess these presidents in charge, I guess they're not that great. And I mentioned in my video yesterday how we don't screen presidents, or was it a video a few days ago? Nonetheless, we don't screen presidents. No, we have a choice between two people, and I mean, you had to choose between McCain and Obama. I'll tell you right now, it didn't matter how the votes worked out, and maybe you did do the better vote, but once again, a lot of people were stating when you vote for these people, you picked the lesser of two evils. Find it very interesting. But I think these people are screened, but they're not screened by us. They are screened by, that word's coming again, the powers that be. At least it makes sense. And when I was watching the president speak, I could have sworn for a little while I was watching The Muppet Show. And what I find very interesting is if you watched The Muppet Show last night and you look to the main puppet character over his left shoulder, you may in fact find Miss Piggy. Anyway, that's just a quick little comment. I want to talk about misinformation. That's what a lot of the things I was expecting from this speech is misinformation. Now, I'm not expecting the president to say whom his bosses happen to be, which thus is stating whom the top political powers of this world happens to be. Don't expect that. But by not saying it, that was given misinformation. But when you're only doing like an hour or so speech, by nature of law, you have to give misinformation. But speech after speech after speech, these are the key misinformation points that should have been addressed at some point. What, our money? Where does our money come from? Because you're not going to get that information from them. No. I mean, you are now in a day and age now where you can search how is money created, and then you'll most likely find the money is debt video come up on your Google search. You'll probably even find some other great videos and some other great articles that will give us the answers. So you're not going to get that from them, no. And what you're not going to get from them either is how the interest system works, how you charge interest, especially at these higher levels, how it guarantees debts to the greatest level. No, you're not going to hear that. But what you did hear last night was how he wants to give these banks or these small businesses some credit. Yeah, so that's going to guarantee more of these massive debts. And he was even mentioning about students, how they're going to be able to have their debts erased after so many years of being in the workplace. Yeah, okay. What can I say about that? I mean, if you can't see how the whole college university system is thus of a scam, then you got some work to do ahead of you to figure stuff out. Now, when I say it being a scam, I mean a X percentage, which is greater than 50% being a scam. Because I think there are many great courses that are available throughout college. But a lot of the ones that are so great, the whole part of the scam is how the loan system being a scam. At that point, then it's 100% being a scam. Other things that were not mentioned is their war strategy or their war plans. They haven't given us that. Now they'll say weapons of mass destructions and whatnot. Of course, there wasn't any. And the only weapon of mass destruction that I know of is HARP. And that's another thing that they're not talking about, is what their plans of HARP happen to be. After all, HARP is on United States soil, and it does seem as if there are American people who are controlling it. I think as American people, we should know what's going on with that. At least that's more of a sane approach. You're not talking about your plans or what you know about 2012. No, and it would have been nice if the president would have said something. We are going to have a trial for the United States government with an impartial judge to get this 9/11 truth all figured out. No, you're not going to hear that. And I'm sure you've talked about, well, the biggest lie they talk about is how they talk about a big recovery. But they said last night that they got a recovery bill. Yes, a recovery bill. And I guess if we put anything into a bill, I guess we could make it so. And I guess, well, if you want good stuff, why don't we make a bill called the Prosperity Bill, which would be a bill that would give every Earth citizen prosperity. If it was only that easy, I guess. In the press conference, Mr. Barrack Obama was talking about jobs. He bragged about this X number of jobs in which he had created, yet we still have unemployment at 10%. We still have the U6 unemployment over 17%. I don't know what he was bragging about, but I guess he was. Another thing that he didn't mention, more misinformation, is colony collapse disorder, how bees are dying off, how we have had problems with many different crops in the United States, and for that matter globally, with flooding and droughts and other miscellaneous weather disasters that have lowered the amount of crops that we have had. And it's interesting how people, how they want to help these Haitians out, the Gayas and the governments, because they don't have enough food. And what it seems to me is that they wait for these people to hit rock bottom before they want to help them out, because Haiti, well before this earthquake, needed help. El Salvador, Ecuador, Nicaragua, Africa, many places in South America, many places in the world, including the United States, have hungry people, have people that need help. But I guess they wait for rock bottom for this to be the case. And we have a world where many Americans are out of work. We have a shortage of food. We have a president who wants to get people back to work, and we have people who want to go back to work. So all of these things add up to an easy mathematical equation that we should have a mass amount of jobs in that of producing food. No, we don't do that. Why? Well, those are tough answers when their policy is that on misinformation. Very tough answer. We have a president, or we have a president's boss that is supporting food like GMOs in our foods from companies like Monsanto. And economy is nothing more than our goods and services, how we produce them, and based on the quantity and quality that we have. So now we got a spot where the quantity of food is going lower and the quality is getting worse. I mean, the math on this just seems pretty simple as far as I'm concerned. So now as far as changes are concerned, I mean, we the people have to make changes for change to actually happen. Because as long as Americans are doing nothing or little, then we will continue to be the debt slaves of the nation, and those powers that be will be able to do stuff that they want to do. As long as you stay hypnotized within them, then you will be under their control. Do you want to be under their control? Once again, that is up to you. It's your decision on whether that's the case. Because we are smart human beings with many capabilities. I'm not going to say that we were all idiotic because we were cheering President Obama. No, I'm going to say that we were hypnotized to it, and that those who have hypnotized us were very smart, because all humans are smart. Not just the powers that be, everybody. And when you can remove the hypnotism of being dumbed down, then the world, it's anything you want it to be. And like I say, if it's that of debt slave, that of being slaves to the United States dollar, if that's what you want, then you don't have to do too much, because we're already there. But if you want freedom, you want prosperity, and you want democracy, we don't got any of those right now, and we need to do something, physically do something that can make these kind of changes. So I think the best strategy right now to defeat them is through truth and through positivity, or that of love. Where we go from there? Well, I guess the truth would answer the question for you. Now, many people are going to say that we can't win, that they're too powerful. I'm not going to deny their power. I will not deny that. Maybe they are more powerful than us. But where we are more powerful than them, or at least have an advantage, is in that of numbers. And if enough people go from the ranks of sheep to awake, and enough awake people do something for change, freedom, and peace, then I think that the win for peace is thus guaranteed. Thank you for watching this video, everybody. I know it's long again. Oh, but you know what, though? The movie's going to be 2 hours long, too, and I will try not to make one of these rants that long. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.